Welcome guys and welcome back to the channel, and happy Sunday if you're watching this on the day it's been released. If not, just generally welcome. Today I'm talking about a platform called Livonia, and as you probably know if you've watched this channel before, I am always in the search for different ways to invest my money to make me money back, because there's no point of it just sitting there. Making your money work for you is obviously the best way you want to do it, and trying to get the best returns for that in the most interesting ways is kind of what I really enjoy to do. And so finding those little kind of gems or people doing something slightly different is kind of my bag. So while I was on the search for something genuinely quite different, I found Livonia. Now at first I thought Livonia was just a typical P2P like I've seen and covered quite a few of lately. But the more I dug into it, the more I found that it wasn't the traditional P2P as I've covered with a number of these different videos and different platforms I've looked at. While those traditional ones were very much intermediaries for external loans, Livonia works very differently. The website promises you that you can earn passive income from renewable energies, and I was like, that sounds interesting. Renewable energies are good and passive income is good too, I suppose. So what it's all about. So I started to dig a bit deeper and reached out to them to try and understand exactly how the business works. Because the short answer is trees. And that sounds very simple, but that's kind of where the beauty is as well, because the parent company is a company that's been around for over 30 years, 32 years to be exact, was started by this person's father, who took over in 2015 to grow and expand the company as his father stepped back. Now, the company is all around producing renewable energies from trees. So in Latvia, they have a ton of fellings where trees come down, they pick up the trees, take it to process, etc, etc. So it's all around producing renewable energy from trees. It's split into two parts. You have projects and more of the cash flow side. And I'll go into the returns when we look on the platform itself. But the idea is that, say for example, you have someone that has some trees that have been felled, they need to be collected, they need to be taken to be processed. They will go, and that will be a job for them. That'll be a contract that they have as a parent company. And so you can invest in that essentially side of things. And what that enables them to do is pay their suppliers, the people that need their trees collecting and taking, which is big business for them. It sounds like it was really simple stuff, but the simple stuff is sometimes the most lucrative, because we overthink things so much, but trees is such a commodity that they need to be produced, they need to be processed, and they need to be made into these renewable energies. So they essentially will be able to pay and cash flow to pay the suppliers instantly, instead of having to wait. The suppliers would normally have to wait 2 to 3 weeks plus general payment terms. So they can pay them instantly. You get your daily returns on your interest, that comes back to you daily. And that's kind of generally how the model of one side of things works. Then you have the larger projects where it comes to the processing, the plants, everything like that. But all of this is based internally. So there's a completely different model to some of the P2Ps where it's completely externally. That makes sense? That's why I was like, okay, I need to find out more about this. So hence the reason I was digging a bit deeper and to find out exactly what it's about and what it is, because it's something that I hadn't heard of before. And I was considering, like, is this something that more companies are going to do in the future? Like, is this something where they can get better rates of return, like in terms of interest, by offering you between 9 and 13 or 14%, whatever it is, interest on these things? Do they get better access to money than they would do if they were going from a bank, for example? And so will this be a new thing that companies are able to offer to the general public to invest and get better returns direct to the company? And it's not something I'd seen before, like I said. So this is something completely new that I hadn't really dug into. Like I said, when I first kind of looked at this, I thought this is just your typical P2P. And the more I looked, I thought, well, this isn't the typical P2P. It doesn't work in that way. And I'll jump onto the computer now and I'll show you the website, the platform and everything like that, and we can dig into a bit of what it looks like, the pros and cons. There's some things that I think could be improved. I know they've only come out since, as a platform, the platform only was released, I think it was earlier this year, so it's very new in terms of a platform, but the parent company has been around, like I said, for over 32 years, so that is well established and the demand is there. But this is a platform, and this is a concept, and a model is obviously something that's just been released this year. Jump on the computer and we can kind of dig into some of the UI and platform itself. As I mentioned, they claim that you can make passive income from renewable energy business that's been in business, like I said, for over 30 years. So let's have a dig into how it works from their point of view, and then we can dig into the platform itself. So let's go into a little bit of about us. Terra Livonia, they offer a way for you to invest in Terra Livonia. So Terra Livonia is the general everyday business. Allows you to withdraw money anytime, so it's not fixed for any project sort of status, so you're not tied into a full project or a full loan. It's literally any day, so you can take it out tomorrow, you can put it in today, take it out tomorrow. You also earn interest every single day as well, so you get that paid to your account every single day as well. The money is protected with the collateral, so any of the stuff that they have, which is either stock, heavy machinery, etc, etc. And like I mentioned as well, they've been in business for over 32 years. And this is the current person who runs the business, who has taken over from his father in 2015, and this is where they're based, just in the center of Latvia. You can see the number of investors and the amount of loans that they've had throughout their life, and this is not just based in the previous year, this is based over the entire period. So I was curious because I thought 30 million in the first year, that's kind of really good, but I was assured that this was over the longer period and not over the year, because that would be an incredible cash flow if that was the case. While looking at the platform, I have to say my first impressions were that it does look slightly outdated. I don't think the branding matches their website. Things like the font mismatch for me. Obviously I look for things on a product basis, so I like to see things that are more consistent when it comes to branding. And I think that they could do some work there, not just with the branding and the fonts and things like that, but also with some of the wording. I think they could modernize this a bit and make it just a bit cleaner. Platform open to, I think, anybody, so you can deposit using bank transfer, so you can't do anything other than bank transfer. There's no way to, in fact that's a lie, I think they're implementing very soon Stripe payment, so anyone can use the Stripe interface to be able to deposit, so you can invest from America, everywhere like that, etc, etc. It also provide the feedback to them as well that I thought it could do with a bit of modernization and a bit more clarity with some of the menu items as well. Like there's no wallet, the wallet is actually part of your dashboard. You can see you can deposit and withdraw at the top here, and then also when you look down into projects, you have it split between Terra Livonia and projects. And again, I think you could make this more appealing. I think it doesn't look massively appealing. I'd have some more imagery here personally to make it like stand out a bit more and really understand what the returns are and what you're investing in. These are some of my biggest feedbacks there. So just to make it more clear and more transparent, you know, there's no doubt that the business is operating. I checked out the financials of the actual core company as well, the parent company, and there's no doubt that they are a well-established operating business. But the fact is, if you're going to be producing these sorts of things, I think you could do a lot more to make it more appealing to investors. So that was part of my feedback. I also think as well, when you dig into the Terra Livonia is the one that I mentioned, where it could be anything from just day-to-day felling, anything like that. It gives you the full flexibility of being able to withdraw your money every day as well. So you can say, I'm only going to put it in there for a month, I'm going to put it in there for a week. Whereas on the project side, you are tied into a longer term because it's on a loan. You know, it's more like the traditional one. So it's tied into a certain amount and you get that paid back, and for the loan duration, for example. Just that's more like the traditional P2P side. I'd also like to see more on the portfolio side. I'd like to see more graphs. I love a graph. I'm way more visual. And you can see I've been playing around with this myself just to try and get the feel of what it looks like, what value I can get from it, and just to see what the returns are as well, so I can obviously present those to you guys. As I said, they are very new when it comes to the platform side of things. I know that they're improving things all the time. Like I said, the Stripe integration, so everyone can deposit funds with their card and things like that versus the bank transfer, so I know they're trying to make it more accessible where they can, and hopefully they'll be improving the user experience along the way as well. You know, I had this same sort of feedback with Hive 5 as well. I like what Hive 5 do as an offering, but I find their platform very kind of old school and a bit clunky. In time, I still use Hive 5. I've been getting about 13% return so far on Hive 5, and I haven't had any issues. So It's not like I don't use the platform, it's just I would like to, I look at things from a product point of view. I'm always a product-based person, so that's where I look at it. They only really started this year, so especially on the platform side, it was only launched this year, so they haven't had a lot of time to get it to that maturity point. Obviously, this is the reason why I have this level of feedback. I think some people launch when they have a very mature platform, and other people just launch and then trying to build as they go. And I think High Five and Livonia clearly have done that. So I'm looking forward to seeing where they go, and as you can see from my portfolio and things, I have been playing around with it, so it'll be interesting to see what sort of returns I get and what my user experience is like, especially from an investor point of view. And that's obviously what I want to share with you as well. It's like, from an investor point of view, what do the returns look like per day? How consistent is that? How quickly are the changes implemented? All of those sorts of things that will make it a better experience for you and I as investors, to make it more reliable as well. And I think, like I always mention, trust is a big thing, because when you're talking about money and investing money, trying to get a return, you want to be able to trust those people. And I think building that trust, it takes time, and being able to see results and have that experience is where you get that balance between trust and your investors. I will continue to share my experience with Livonia with you. You can join my Discord, realtalk.business/Discord, and I'll put my experiences in there as well. So I'll have real-time stuff there, but I will be producing another video down the line, much like I do with most of these things, to see how my experience has gone within 3 to 6 months, because that's where you really start to understand what it really is like. Are the returns as they say? What's the experience like? Have the payouts been what they say they're going to be? And so I will be sharing those along the way as I go. You can of course check out Livonia, realtalk.business/Livonia, if you want to give it a play yourself. You can invest from as little as €10, so it's literally the lowest barrier. You can buy one unit, as they call it, for €10 and invest, and again, you can withdraw that the next day if you really want, so there's no tie-in. €10, 9% return, daily interest paid. It may just class as a very high interest savings account, if you know what I mean. So if nothing else, give that a go. Like I said, realtalk.business/Livonia. Follow along, because I will be sharing updates on these to let you know how these things progress with these newer companies. Don't forget to share the video, like, comment, subscribe, any other unique company like this that you think I should be looking into. I'm very curious to see whether this sort of model will take on and other companies utilize this sort of structure. I honestly don't know. Otherwise, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.